The Ottoman Empire engaged in battles with many states and nations throughout its historical existence. The Ottomans' adversaries vary, ranging from Christian Knights and Persians to Russians. However, there exists a war in Ottoman history where the enemy was the Zimba tribe, inhabitants of the Kenyan jungles, infamous for their cannibalistic practices. Intriguingly, the Ottomans suffered a significant defeat against these cannibals, who were known to consume human flesh, even going as far as to fry and eat Ottoman soldiers. Here is the lesser-known Kenyan expedition in Ottoman history. Sultan Bayezid II ascended the throne following the death of Mehmet the Conqueror in 1481 and reigned for 31 years until 1512. During the reign of Bayezid II, who was a tranquil sultan, the Ottomans experienced a period away from growth and development, devoid of wars. However, unlike the Ottomans, the Europeans did not cease their progress and continued to develop. During those years, significant trade routes such as the spice and silk routes originated in Asia and traversed to Europe via Anatolia. The states along this route profited from the taxes they levied on the merchants, while Europeans ended up purchasing these products at the highest prices as they passed through numerous intermediaries. Moreover, the wealth of the Eastern countries, often described as a fairy tale in Europe during those years, aroused the interest of the impoverished European populace. As a result, the Age of Discovery commenced in Europe, with the objective of finding alternative routes to the existing trade routes and capitalizing on the wealth and raw materials of the East. The ship that would alter the entire world order embarked from Portugal in 1497. The ship's captain was Vasco da Gama. He navigated down the west coast of Africa and reached the Cape of Good Hope. He then followed the coastline into the Indian Ocean and landed in India. The Europeans had discovered the new route they had been seeking and had accomplished their objective. Suddenly, every port along this route became exceedingly valuable. The Portuguese in particular established numerous ports along the coasts of East Africa, India, and the Arabian Peninsula, initiating attacks on non-state communities and exploiting their material resources. The Ottoman Empire's borders would extend to these regions thanks to two legendary sultans. Firstly, a result of the Yavuz Sultan Selim's eastern campaigns, the Mamluk rule in Egypt was terminated, establishing sovereignty around the Red Sea. Following him, Suleiman the Magnificent marched against the Safavids, extending his territory to the Persian Gulf. Consequently, the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf became the Ottoman Empire's gateways to the Indian Ocean. Eventually, the Kingdom of Portugal and the Ottomans began to clash in the Indian Ocean. Following the death of Suleiman the Magnificent, the conflict in the Indian Ocean persisted during the reigns of Selim II and subsequently Murad III. During Murad III's reign, Muslims residing on the coasts of Somalia and Kenya, worried by Portuguese oppression, began to seek assistance from the Ottoman Empire. Hassan Pasha, the governor of Yemen, was tasked with overseeing the naval expeditions in this region. Hassan Pasha selected one of his most trusted men, the Turkish sailor Amir Ali Bey, for this mission. Captain Amir Ali Bey embarked on his journey with two ships in 1585, initially to Somalia and subsequently to the city of Mombasa in Kenya. Here, the local population, comprising blacks and Arabs, warmly welcomed the Muslim Ottoman soldiers, who treated them with humanity, unlike the Europeans. Amir Ali Bey had incorporated Somalia and Kenya into the Ottoman Empire and returned to Yemen after leaving sufficient troops behind and capturing a Portuguese ship. However, The city of Mombasa, which the Ottomans had seized, was a crucial port for the Portuguese trade. Consequently, they did not rest and continued their assault on the East African coasts 2 years after the withdrawal of the Ottoman fleet. In response to the massacres perpetrated by the Portuguese, the governor of Yemen, Hassan Pasha, decided to organize a new expedition to the region in 1589, 4 years after the initial expedition. Once again, Amir Ali Bey commanded 5 ships and sailed to the East African coast. The Portuguese, having learned that the Ottoman forces were anchored in the city of Mombasa, were prepared this time. The 18-ship Portuguese fleet, stationed off the coast of Goa, India, immediately set sail for Mombasa. The Portuguese had another surprise in store. The Portuguese sailors had struck a deal with the Zimba tribe, who resided in the African jungles, and instilled terror in all other tribes in the region with their cannibalistic practices. Thousands of cannibals, armed with spears, besieged the city of Mombasa from the land upon the orders from the Portuguese. The number of Ottoman sailors defending the city did not exceed 1,000. The city of Mombasa had primitive wooden walls, which were not particularly fortified. Therefore, the Ottoman commander Amir Ali Bey had brought all 5 ships close to the shore to provide cannon fire support in case the cannibals launched an attack from the land. However, the cannibals did not attack. The reason for their inaction became evident on March 5, 1589. An 18-ship Portuguese fleet appeared off Mombasa. The Ottoman ships, which had retreated to the shore to protect the city from the cannibals, were caught off guard by this raid, and all of them were sunk by the Portuguese ships and submerged in the waters of the Indian Ocean. At this very moment, the Zimba tribe launched their attack. In this battle, which will be remembered as the Battle of Mombasa, Ottoman soldiers found themselves caught between 2 fires, battling cannibals on land on one side and the Portuguese landing from the sea on the other. Turkish historian Yılmaz Öztuna described the battle in his article titled "Turks in East Africa" as follows. Mombasa was reclaimed from the Turks. Amir Ali Bey was captured and transported to Lisbon. The Turkish sailors fled into the jungle and headed southwest into Tanganyika. However, they fell into the hands of the Zimbas, a Bantu tribe that wreaked havoc in Southeast Africa. The cannibalistic Zimbas roasted and consumed all the captured Turkish sailors. None of the Ottoman soldiers who embarked on this expedition from Yemen ever returned. Those who fell into the hands of the Zimbas were consumed by the cannibals, while those captured by the Portuguese were enslaved and forced to row on Portuguese ships until their deaths. Amir Ali Bey, the Ottoman captain, was captured and taken to Lisbon and never heard from again. The Ottoman Empire lost only 5 ships and around 1,000 soldiers in this war. Thus, this was actually a minor defeat for them. Only a few centuries later, English historian Menzel Longworth Dames stated if the Ottoman Empire had been able to send a larger fleet to the Indian Ocean, the entirety of East Africa would have been Turkish for centuries, just like the other countries of Africa, demonstrating that small details in history can hold great significance. Following this defeat, the power of the Ottoman Empire in the Indian Ocean was diminished, and the people of the region were left at the mercy of the Portuguese. However, the Portuguese showed little mercy, along with the other European countries that joined the fray. They exploited the raw materials, altered the languages, religions, and cultures of the people, and wreaked havoc for hundreds of years.